Hey everyone, I'm Nick and this is To Be Technical. Today we are unboxing and taking a look at these. These are some smart LED strip lights from Romwish. So these are they're really cheap. They're like 15 quid or something like that on Amazon, 14, 15 quid on Amazon. And I assume something similar in dollars. So depending on how good they are, they could be like a really interesting purchase for RGB on the cheap. What features do they advertise? On the box they say full colours, so I mean, yes, I would assume they're LEDs, they should have full colours. They're dimmable, they have music sync, another one of those gimmicky features. Let's see what that's actually like, and a built-in microphone, again, so similar to some other lights that we checked out. But what's different with these is that, I mean, they also have Bluetooth control through an app with your phone, but they also have an RF remote rather than an infrared remote, which is good because it means A, it doesn't need line of sight, so you don't need to point the remote directly at it, and it also means that it has a greater range, so that could be a useful feature if you don't want to control it via the app, which you also have that option. There's, you can see on the back of the box that there is an app for it apparently. Thanks for choosing Romwish, they say. So, this video is not sponsored, but I do want to thank Romwish for sending these over for me to review. Let's get started. Get straight into it. Yeah, so as I was saying, these are like very cheap on Amazon. So if you're looking to add some colour to your work from home setup, for instance, or something like that, then these could be an interesting option if you're on a budget. Here on the top we have the remote. It's definitely bulkier than the infrared ones I've seen for other light kits, but I think it also has more options, so that's pretty good. It's in the box. Okay, very bare bones packaging, not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Oh, this is great actually. So the other lights we checked out a while ago, a couple of months ago I think, you could also cut them up. And if you didn't want to use a full, I think 5 meter length, I think this is 5 meters, something like that. So you might not want to use all that length in one go, so you could cut it up. But the problem with those ones is that they didn't come with the connectors to join them together again, or any other power bricks, so you had to buy them separately, which was a bit stupid. This is great. It includes like right angle connectors and stuff like that, so you can cut this up and connect it still using the same power brick and remote then, which is great. That's really useful. Here is the power brick itself. This is quite a large power brick for something which I assume is fairly low powered. That's a little bit, I don't know, I guess it's just because it's cheap. And then obviously it adapts to that 4-pin 12 volt connector. Here are the strips themselves inside this bag. We'll have a look at that in a second. And then left in the box, that's empty now. Oh. Now it's empty. There's some standard literature type things. You have some extended warranty, I think. A user manual. Don't think we'll need that, hopefully. An alcohol pad. I don't know what that's for. To disinfect it, I guess. Something about some music play mode, oh it's another user manual type thing, and some information about installation. Nothing I think we're actually going to need, but it's obviously they need to include that kind of stuff in the box. Let's have a look at the lights themselves now. They come in this package. I don't even know what this is. Put that to the side. Okay, here we go. These are the lights themselves. They have tape on the back so that you can stick them to something. You don't need any extra adhesive, hopefully. Then you can see, again, I think you can join more of these together with this other connector on here. Yeah, well, actually with this connector on here, you can daisy chain multiple of them together. I'm not sure what the limit is for that, but that's cool. If you want to buy another kit like this, you don't have to use multiple power bricks and remotes. You can just control them all with one. Let's try it out. Actually, quickly, let's have a look at the remote here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. It has power buttons, lots of color options, and then some different modes, I guess. Even DIY ones, I'm not sure what that's going to be. Definitely more customizability and options than the lights we checked out last time, which if you haven't seen my video on that, you may be interested. Go check that out in the corner up here, I think. This corner, one of them. I'm going to go ahead and turn off some lights, plug these in, and let's test them out. Okay, so unfortunately you're probably not going to be able to see me very well anymore. That is a shame. But at least you can see the lights now. Here they are, turned on automatically when I plugged them in. Haven't done anything to them since. Got a bit of a blue tint now because of this blue adhesive, which obviously won't be there once you unravel it, as you can see from these ones. They're reasonably bright. I don't know how much you can tell because I still have some lights on so that you can kind of see me at least. But they're pretty bright. Let's test out the remote. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so this is, I can immediately tell, this is way more responsive than your typical infrared remote. This is really good. Oh, I much prefer this. Plus, you don't have to have line of sight. Like, I can change it from all the way over here. Oh, I much prefer this solution. So, I think that's a really good thing that Romwish has done. It's a radio remote, which uses radio waves rather than infrared. So, as I said, no line of sight and greater distance as well. Really, and also it happens to be much more responsive. Let's test out some of the modes. Quick. You also have all your different solid colors as well from the remote. And then brightness, you can dim it all the way down or brighten it again. Pretty good. Very, simple, easy to use, but I think the functionality is really good, much better than the other ones we tested out. And I know I keep saying this, but the infrared remote is really good. One thing I have noticed is that the power lead is really short, so like it's barely reaching my desk. I have it plugged in right down here, and it's barely reaching this desk, so that might be a problem depending on how close the wall outlet is to where you want to actually have the lights. Also, again, I'm not 100% sure, but that might differ depending on your region. Like, I'm in the UK here, so you might get a different plug if you're in Europe or the US, for instance. This is great. Let's try out the app now. Aha, okay, so there's actually, I wasn't sure where to find the app, but there is a QR code on here. Let's look in Bluetooth settings. Okay, warning, do not have it like this. It's incredibly hot to the touch and I can smell it burning, so that's not good. Oh, now it's working. Okay, so glitchy app, not very good app, but it seems to work now actually fine. Standard. RGB. Okay, that's just white. Okay, so you get a few presets, essentially. Plus then you have this is a really weird control method, I don't like this at all. But then you have the normal color wheel type thing. Okay. Oh, this is the same feature with when it hears sound, which I assume is from my phone's microphone, not a built-in one, given they asked me for microphone permissions. When I talk, turns on and flashes and stuff. Rainbow jumping change. Okay, it's doing something. I think these are more of these type of like effects, but again, very glitchy. Doesn't seem to work well at all. Timing. Please select a device. Okay, so we're going to try the music sync feature now. As usual, with this thing, it was the same with the other lights. It looks just for local audio files on your device, which is kind of irritating. You can't obviously use a streaming service or something like that, but that's the way it is. They're cheap. I keep saying that, but they're cheap. We can let them off for some of these kind of things. Let's try Pure Imagination. It's even doing. It doesn't look like it's going in time with the music at all. This is even worse than the other ones I tried. That's not great. But, I don't know. Stop defaulting to this stupid weird thing. I don't even know what this is. It's like some weird circle. dial type thing. I don't know. But the color wheel is useful if you just want to set a solid color. And then the talking thing is, again, incredibly gimmicky, but each to their own. Pulsating rainbow seems to work, but none of the other ones do. Okay. So overall, I don't really like the app, unfortunately. The color wheel is useful and good, and that's pretty much all I'd use it for, because, I mean, the other things require additional permissions, like how much of your data do you really want to give to this company? And also they're like this kind of very, 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 very gimmicky. But the color wheel is useful, so you have the option of the app. But honestly, like, I think it's more hassle than it's worth. The pairing process was, again, a pain. It tried to do it automatically, but then, and it kind of did, but it didn't really work that well. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to stick to the remote control, which I really, really like, actually. It's way better than some of the standard cheap remote controls that come. I mean, it's still cheap, it's still plastic in it. Yeah, but it's way better than most of the standard remote controls that come with these lights. Okay, I'm gonna go turn some lights on. Okay. So, overall, what do I think of these lights? Actually, like, there's some things which I like less than some of the other ones I've looked at, and some things I like more. So, let's start with the downsides. The downsides are the app. It's terrible. Like, pairing process was weird, didn't really make any sense, didn't give me any explanation for any of that. I mean, the color wheel worked fine, and just turning it on and off and stuff, that was fine, but all of the other functions are either really gimmicky or they don't work properly at all. So, app wasn't great, but it's there if you want it. Also, they got hot really quickly, but that was probably my fault for keeping them all in the bundle, but just make sure you don't keep them on the reel. Definitely take them off the reel before you start using them. What else? The remote was great. I loved the remote. I really like how it's RF instead of IR. That's really good. The power brick was bulky and the power lead was too short, in my opinion, but overall, the lights themselves were great. Like, they had all the functionality you'd expect, everything you could need, I think. It would be great, obviously, if they had something like, I don't know, Google Assistant or Alexa integration, but, I mean, they're 15 quid. I don't think most people are really going to expect that at this price point, and I'm not either. I think they're really good value for money, and I would definitely consider buying them. Thanks again to Romwish for sending them over for me to check out and review. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, a like would be great, and even better would be if you could subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. Go follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at ToBeTechnical. I'll link both of those down below in the description. And yeah, see you next time on To Be Technical. Hopefully not in a month's time. Can this take my weight? Please take my weight. Please don't kill me.